Have you ever wondered why addiction and mental struggles are so high in religious communities? The research right now is starting to really reveal and show us what's going on in the brain. And our government has started this brain initiative quite a few years ago now, I think 7 or 8 years, and we have been just flooded with information about the brain, what's going on. And we actually know the answers to these questions. We know why mental illness is skyrocketing now in general, just across the board with the way that technology is affecting our lives and our attention and where our brain is going and where we spend our time. It is actually creating an effect that we are starting to see that's coming across as mental illness. And I often have people ask, what is it really changing, or are we just being more aware? And I'm telling you, we are definitely changing, and our awareness is going up also, but we're also we have some very specific things we can track. For example, suicide rates that really show us at a high level, and things like pornography usage and other things that are very definitively telling us that. I'm Lamont Wilcox, and this is my daughter, Mikkel Wilcox, and we are neuromental health specialists.
Isn't that incredible that we have that as we see that these mental illnesses and these things are getting worse and worse, that we are actually getting more and more information. So it is something that we can help. It is something that can be helped, and that we have ways that really can get to the core of these issues, these mental struggles. So there really is hope for you. A lot of people have been to a lot of therapists and different things like that, and they just feel like they've tried everything. But we're here to tell you that you have not tried everything, because we have something that is incredible and that really will make a difference in your life, and that does have true good results.
What we've seen in the past so far is that the psychologists have typically studied and researched around the symptoms of the problems that we're having in mental health and in addiction. And what we have discovered, and what the new science that's coming out from our neuroscientists and our psychologists, that is telling us that it is actually revealing what the core of the problem is. And the core of the problem, when we address that, we're actually able to help in so many different areas of mental struggles, whether it's relationships, or whether it's addictions, or depression, or anxiety, and even more severe things like PTSD and borderline personality disorder, things that we have felt have been really severe, and things that we in the past haven't seen a lot of success with. And we try medications, we try therapies, and none of them really are very have a high probability of really helping someone in the long term. And that's because those are all just symptoms to a bigger problem, a bigger preset framework of mapping that's in our brain. And neuroplasticity is the basic concept that the brain that we're using is not the brain that we're using is not something we're stuck with. It actually changes. And we didn't know that years ago. It was something that most of our psychology and foundational way of thinking was all around this idea that our brain was, once we were in our mid-20s or so, then it was there, and it was the way that it was going to be.
Because maybe you do these other methods and you see some changes and things like that, but when we use medications and things that are more temporary in a way, we go back to our old habits, we go back to our old thinking. So maybe the medication was working for a long time, maybe months, and it was going great, but it wears off. And so this is something, like he said, it gets down to the core, something that doesn't wear off, something that you can constantly go back to and work on, and you'll see the same results that you saw in the past when it worked the first time. And so it's something that you can always go back to and doesn't run out like medication.
It's so fascinating, because it's something I've experienced personally and struggled myself for many years from when I was a very young child, and I've been able to dive in and dig in. And the reason that I did this is because I had my own struggles and people that were very close to me that and it affected my life in a very big way. And so that got me to dive in. And when I started to learn about the research that was coming out in neurology and what was happening with the breakthroughs and discoveries, And this concept that our brain is set up with the maps of our experience, and that's how we process, and that process affects our chemicals, and our chemicals in return can get stuck in these repetitive patterns, and that we can break those patterns, that there's actually a way to go deep into the subconscious and break those patterns in a really strong way that can create massive and really quick, effective, lasting change. When you get to the core, it lasts. And that's why so many of these other methods don't last, is because they don't really get to the core.
And so getting to the core is really something that can happen that fast. That as you see, as the lights turn on and you see a different perspective, it's difficult to go back to a different way of thinking, because you're just so like, you understand it, you get it. The lights turn on and they don't turn off after that. And so it's something that really changes on a high level. And it's amazing to see when we're in here talking with clients, helping them get these breakthroughs, turning the lights on for them. They really are just amazed at the way they see the world now. And it's kind of just like putting on maybe a different pair of sunglasses and going outside and looking at the world. So it's learning how to change a perspective in a way that shows you a different way of living, that you can truly be fulfilled.
It's so amazing. I've been able to now do this for a few years, and I've been able, because I help people in such a short period of time, with usually only 2 or 3 meetings with someone, make such a massive change. I've been able to help well over 200 people individually to go through this process. And actually, it's a model that I present in such a way that our subconscious takes that in. It's called our Neuro Auto-Associative Programming model. And that model is the key to making these shifts and change. And I've been able to help people that had the highest IQs all the way down to the lowest, and lawyers and programmers, people with really intelligent backgrounds. I've still been able to, this model is amazing. I actually have been able to spend a significant amount of time at a local neuro clinic, and I've helped people that have had literally physical damage done to their brain. And so if you think that maybe you're in an extreme situation and this might not help, I want to encourage you to take action, because action is where it's all at. It's about having hope and taking action on that hope.
And hope is the strongest emotion that will help us keep going. I mean, we have people in here that come in and they're just like, this is my last option. This is the last thing I'm going to try. And so as we talk to them, you see that they have a new hope, that they truly are being able to understand something in a different way that makes a true change. And that's what really drives us, is seeing that change in people, seeing that it's something that's different. It's not mainstream. It's something that really works and really helps people. And even in our own personal lives, the amount of, just on the day-to-day of our personal lives, of us going through our brains and us analyzing what we're thinking and how we're reacting to things and what's going through our head is huge. It makes all of the difference. And that difference can really change your life. Even just the small things that you think every day, just being on a conscious level of what your understanding of your brain is and what's going on.
So if you've been told, because maybe you have an addiction or a mental illness or a mental struggle, which, by the way, in the brain neurologically looks almost the same. An addiction is a repetitive pattern that leads to things we don't want. Mental illness, it looks the same in the brain. It's a repetitive pattern that doesn't lead to the things that we truly want. And if you've been told that because you have this addiction, or you've gotten to a certain point that it's going to be a struggle for the rest of your life, or that there's just methods to cope with it, and that you're going to maybe take your level of misery from here to here, then I'm here to tell you that there is more. There is absolutely more that you can do, and that you can clean that slate. You can shift that so much that you can change the chemicals and you can change the responses that are happening in your brain to where that addiction doesn't even affect you at all. You can change so much that there is no draw to that addiction again. You literally can. And the shifts that happen can happen so quickly. It's really just, I don't even know how to explain how amazing it is to watch people make these changes, and I actually go on to teach classes and teach other people how to use this same model. And so it's really quite fascinating to talk to clients that I met with a couple of years ago, and they come back and they tell me about their life, and they tell me what they're doing and all these things they're involved with, and people that are now coaching and using this model, and it's just incredible. I've used it to create the life that I'm living, which is phenomenally, outrageously amazing. That I couldn't even have imagined, 5 years ago that I could have a life like this, and I get to help people and see these changes happen. And my goal is to get this message out to the world, because it's so needed. This world, we know the statistics, we know what's going on at such a high rate, and sometimes it just seems overwhelming and undaunting. And the first step is to do something yourself. If you struggle yourself with an addiction or mental illness of any sort, or you really just want to take life to a new level, then take action. And we're presenting this video because we want it to go out. So please share this video, tell people about it, give it to your whole contact list, and let people know that there's this hope. This is not a scam. This is my daughter. I'm not going to do something to scam you out of your money that doesn't work. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. The success rate is just so high. So we invite you to do something. You can go and you can find my Facebook page, which is under Fulfill Life Yourself, and it's an acronym for FLY, because the feeling you get is so freeing that it feels like you can fly. So Fulfill Life Yourself, you can search that up, and you can look me up on YouTube. It's Lamont Wilcox. So it's spelled Lamonte. It has an E there, and then Wilcox, Wilcox. You can search me there. You can also go to lamontwilcox.com or fulfilllifeyourself.com, and you can find more there. And I'm really excited to be able to present and help you at levels that I know will light your life up. And I hope you have a chance to hear some of the testimonials that we have from other people that it's just changed their life around, their relationships, their careers, so much that's going on in their life.
Yeah, so imagine what your life could be like if right now you take a moment to think about the things that we've said, to question the things that we've said, because we want you to really understand that this is something that could be a part of your life too, not just ours, and that your life could be different and changed in a way that is more than you even imagined before, just like us. So please take that action, take a minute to just think over these things, and maybe just go to one of those pages or make a note to take an action. So thank you so much, and
I thank you again. And like she said, it's this is you, and this isn't a get fixed quick scheme, but it has this power that's unlike anything else. And yeah, if you've got a really extreme addiction or really extreme mental struggle, it might take some time, but this is the tool that will get you there. And whether you get through us or life experiences helps you out and brings it to you, you'll be going through the system that we're showing you. That it's just a system of how your brain works. And so why not learn it and just make it do it purposeful and face life in a way that helps build you and helps you become the creator of your experience. So we are so thankful that you've taken a little bit of time with us. Please continue to look at our stuff, and if you found this on our webpage, then keep looking at what other things you can receive from this, because we want to help the world, and we're trying to make this digital so that everyone can get it, because we really truly believe we can change the world, and you can be a part of that. So thank you so much. We love you. We'll group hug for you.